Right now in KREM 2 News at noon, a big jump in gas prices in Spokane. We'll explain what's behind it and why lower prices could return sometime very soon.
And clouds have been thickening up ahead of a storm system that's going to bring us some wet weather this afternoon and evening.
Plus, the historic Riverfront Park butterfly gets ready to spread its wings once again. Hi everyone, so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin by taking a look at this noon hour at the weather out there because we are tracking some rain on its way this afternoon. The meteorologist Michelle Boss is standing in for Thomas today. Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, we are tracking some wet weather for this afternoon. Despite the cloud cover and the rain, though, temperatures are still going to make it right around to 60 degrees this afternoon. I know we had some cool gray weather at the end of last week where we didn't even get out of the 50s, but we're just on the cusp of 60 degrees right now. 59 in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, and 58 in Deer Park, while lower 60s are already being seen across central Washington. 63 in Moses Lake, Othello, and Ritzville. 65 degrees in Lewiston. The clouds have kind of been increasing all morning long, starting to see some precipitation just crossing over the Cascades now. Expecting this rainfall sometime mid-afternoon and continuing to early evening. So the short-term forecast brings that light rainfall in. We'll see otherwise cloudy skies, but again, you could be dealing with some wet roads on the way home from work. So afternoon rain this afternoon with a high of 60, and then for tomorrow we'll start drying out, and we're talking about a pretty big warm-up for later on in the week.
All right, my friend, thank you. A Spokane staple will soon be flying once again. The lilac butterfly at Riverfront Park has been down now for more than 2 years, but it's about to hit the skies once again. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has an update.
Yeah, well, you can go ahead and you can take a look right behind me because you can see there's a sign that says coming soon, and that's as soon as today because construction has officially started. I want you to go ahead and walk with me a little bit. You can see the crews out here. There's also a fence in place, and this will be here for the next 1 or 2 weeks as those crews do their work on getting the lilac butterfly back up there. It's an iconic symbol here in Spokane. They say it's about 1 to 2 weeks, as mentioned, on how long they'll be working on it to get it back in place. But if you can remember back in January of 2021, that's when the lilac butterfly came down. It was all due to a strong windstorm. Park officials say an original weld was broke under the extreme force of 70-mile-per-hour winds. So to combat any further problems, the butterfly has gone through complete re-engineering. That includes several structural and aerodynamic modifications to enhance and add flexibility. The hope with these changes is to withstand the elements and provide more wing support. In the event of any failure, a fail-safe lanyard is also going to be on the newly installed butterfly, and that will remain attached to the post. So it's an exciting time here at the park. Crews actually told me that today they're building the actual butterfly portion of it, and then it'll take some time to get it up into place. So if you're going to be around, you'll see them with their construction going on. And of course, it's almost 50 years since that butterfly initially went up. It was introduced here to Spokane in 1974 for the World's Fair Expo. But for now, reporting at Riverfront Park, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
We do have a developing story for you coming out of North Spokane County. Deputies are investigating after a security guard shot 2 people, killing 1. This happened in Meade over the weekend. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says this happened along the 2400 block of East Hawthorne Road. 2 people got into a fight with a security guard, and during that fight, the security guard shot both of them. 1 died at the scene while the other was taken to a hospital. However, the security guard was not hurt. Right now, deputies are not saying if anyone will be charged for the shooting or exactly what led up to the shots being fired. Certainly, we'll continue to track this story right here on KREM 2 and bring it to you as soon as we have that information. Former President Donald Trump is back in court for the start of a civil real estate fraud case. New York prosecutors allege that Trump, his 2 oldest sons, and the Trump Organization inflated the value of his properties while pursuing favorable bank loans. The former president denies any wrongdoing.
It's a scam, it's a sham. Just so you know, my financial statements are phenomenal.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
The New York Attorney General is seeking $250 million in damages and a ban on Trump running any businesses in New York State. The trial is expected to last about 3 months. California's governor has appointed a new senator after the death of Dianne Feinstein on Friday. LaFonza Butler will be the only black woman serving in the U.S. Senate. She is also the first openly LGBTQ+ person to represent California in the chamber. Congress was able to do what almost nobody expected over the weekend. They came together with bipartisan support to avert a government shutdown. But as Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill, the work is far from being done.
Congress did the unexpected. Lawmakers passed a bipartisan bill over the weekend avoiding a government shutdown.
The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
The bill keeps the lights on for the next 45 days at current spending levels. It does not have the deep cuts House Republicans were pushing for.
It wasn't the choice we wanted to have. We tried to pass the most conservative stopgap measure possible.
Hardline conservatives would not bend on their demands, so House Speaker Kevin McCarthy enlisted help from Democrats, a move that could cost him.
I do intend to file a motion to vacate against Speaker McCarthy this week. I think we need to rip off the Band-Aid. I think we need to move on with new leadership.
But McCarthy says he's not concerned.
So be it. Bring it on. Let's get over with it, and let's start governing.
Governing starts with passing long-term spending bills to keep the government open. But there's also a battle brewing over helping fund Ukraine's war against Russia.
We cannot, under any circumstance, allow American support for Ukraine to be interrupted.
A growing number of Republicans are opposed to spending more money on Ukraine, but they are a minority for now.
Most Senate Republicans remain committed to helping our friends on the front lines.
President Biden says Ukraine cannot survive without more help from Congress. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.